What's up guys, it's Bastian here coming at you with the 40 card Yugi starter deck all the way back from when this was pretty much the only thing available in terms of starter decks. A little bit of recap. The Yugi and the Kaiba starter deck were the first two starter decks that came out for the TCG version of the game, and then a little bit later, I think about 6 months later, we've got the Joey and the Pegasus starter decks as well. The United States versions of these starter decks had 50 cards in them, so if you were a clever person, then you would have cut 10 of the worst cards and then play with the other 40. This is exactly what I'm doing. The first episode was about the Joey 40 card starter deck. Today we are covering Yugi. So let's start with our boss monster, of course, that is the Dark Magician. Needs no introduction. Now let's talk about the actual boss monster of the deck, which is the Summoned Skull. Needs only one tribute summon, 2500 attacker, the absolute unit, the most favored tribute summon card when only the starter deck existed and the Legend of Blue Eyes set release. We also have some substitutions. So for Dark Magician, we've got Gaia the Fierce Knight as the second best, and for Summon Skull, we have Curse of Dragon as the second best. To be fair, any one of these are good. None of the tribute summons are particularly great besides Summon Skull. Anything else is just okay enough, but I'm kind of envisioning these four decks being played just against each other, and kind of the balance is taken from that angle. So Dark Magician, Summon Skull, Gaia, and Curse of Dragon are the four boss monsters that we operate with. Moving on to the effect monsters, we have Man-Eater Buck to do what Man-Eater Buck does. Flip effect monster, destroy one monster on the field regardless of position. We have a Trap Master, getting rid of hopefully a trap that our opponent has on the side. And really that's about it for effect monsters for the Yugi deck. It is really not much else to write home about, but we do have some good defense position monsters. Wall of Illusion is an absolute AVP in the deck. We also have Giant Monster of Stone and Mystical Elf. So three very decent defensive monsters that we actually get access to here. Then we have Neo the Magic Swordsman. Fun fact, the European edition did not have Neo the Magic Swordsman in it, which is an absolutely disgusting move. Cutting out one of the best cards from the deck. Anyway, we got Neo the Magic Swordsman, 1700 attack. Then we got Man-Eating Treasure Chest, 1600. Dragon Zombie, 1600. Great White, 1600. 1550 for Baron of the Fiend Sword. 1500 for Mystic Clown. A little bit of utility on the Stern Mystic, not too much, but it's still a 1500 attacker. But you can flip it. All face down cards on the field are turned face up and then return to their original position. No card effects are activated when cards are turned face up. So we do get a little bit of utility out of him at least. Then scraping the bottom of the barrel, 1450 Sorcerer of the Dune, 1450 Ancient Elf, 1400 on the Celtic Guardian, and 1400 on Witty Phantom. That's really what the Yugi deck does. You just slap down a monster and hope for the best. At least the Kaiba deck has some better strategy with the flute. When I show you the Kaiba deck, at least that will be hopefully a little bit more prevalent. But yeah, we do have a lot of monsters that we can swing with, and we do have some ways to buff them up as well. Now, our only real card draw in the deck is not really a card draw, it's more card selection in the form of card destruction. It's a very good card, but it definitely has its drawbacks, so I'm going to say it is there because there's nothing really better to put in here. But yeah, gosh, it's not ideal for this deck. There is a couple of combos where you can put like a Dark Magician or any one of your tributes and then bring them back with Monster Reborn. So at least there is that. In terms of monster removal, we got the Dark Hole and Fisher combo in this deck. They're both fantastic cards. We do get Change of Heart in here, which does bode well. That's why we have obviously at least a few of these tribute monsters in here, because we also have one soul exchange. I remember when we were kids, my buddy and I had this deck, and my buddy and I, this is literally what we've had. So we just shuffled up the 43 cards. That's how much you get in the European version, and we're just drawing from the same deck. And when the deck ran out, we shuffled the graveyard back, and we carried on playing until one of us won. And we never could quite understand why Soul Exchange existed when Change of Heart existed. Well, you clearly wouldn't want to use Soul Exchange if Change of Heart was available. Of course, we knew nothing about, banned cards and how these cards were released and all of that. We just always thought, well, Soul Exchange comes as a foil, so it's supposed to be a better card than Change of Heart. And yet again, Change of Heart was just amazing. Um, anyway, that's just a little bit of a nostalgia there for you. In terms of our extra summon, Lost will take care of that. Luckily, we have quite a lot of 1500 or less attacking monsters to bring out. So we got Mystic Clown, Stern Mystic, Sorcerer, Ancient Elf, Celtic Guardian, Woody Phantom. These are all great Lost Will targets. We can also target, of course, Giant Soldier of Stone, technically Wall of Illusion, Mystical Elf, Trap Master, Many Robot could also be, but ideally not going to target those with Lost Will. And then, of course, the fabled Monster Reborn, quite possibly the best card in the deck with Change of Heart hand in hand. So this will give us obviously some nice battle tricks. And then in terms of removal, Dispel and Remove Trap is what we have for back row removal. And for boosting our guys, we do have Sword of Dark Destruction, which is actually a really good equip spell for the time. Plus 420 dark and minus 200 defense. The defense doesn't really matter, you just care about the 400 attack. So if we go through our deck here, we have Man-Eating Treasure Chest, Dragon Zombie, Baron of the Fiend Sword, Mystic Clown, Sorcerer of the Doomed, and Witty Phantom, and of course Dark Magician, and of course Summon Skull and Curse of Dragon can all wear Sword of Dark Destruction. We also get Book of Secret Arts for the spellcasters. So this really shines on Dark Magician, Neo the Magic Swordsman. I even went to beatdowns in the past with a Mystical Elf in attack position with the Book of Secret Arts when it came to that. Any other spellcasters here, real quick? I think there is. Yeah, we got Stern Mystic, Sorcerer of the Doomed, Ancient Elf. So quite a few monsters that can wear Book of Secret Arts. And of course we do get a copy of Yami. All of the Fiend and Spellcaster type monsters gain 200 attack and defense. And Fairy type monsters lose 200 points. So 3 cards that can basically give us a better chance in battling. On to the trap cards now. We start with a Dragon Capture Jar. This is because there really isn't much better to run in this deck, and if you do run up against the any of the other 3 decks, really, they all have dragons in them. So Joey has Red Eyes Bee Dragon, Thousand Dragon, Baby Dragon. Of course, the Kaiba deck has Blue Eyes. It also has Kumori Dragon, and Pegasus has the Manga Riran, and Blue Eyes Toon Dragon. So it can be useful against any of the other decks. Technically, we could put this kind of here with Darkhold and Fisher. It doesn't remove the dragons, but it basically takes them out of the game, and at least you don't have to worry about them until you have this card in game. Reverse Trap, kind of a weird one. It is definitely involving a calculator quite often when you start to use this card, but it's a good little battle trick. Ultimate Offering is fantastic. We had no idea that either player could use Ultimate Offering, by the way. A player is allowed an extra normal summon or set. We never really figured that out. Trap Hole for additional monster removal and 2-pronged attack. Of course, I will forever favor Trap Hole. 2-pronged attack is meh, but again, there's nothing better. And we have a Waboku, which is really good, actually. You're safe for the entire turn. And we get Reinforcements and Castle Walls, just some additional battle buff for attack or defense. So you might be wondering, well, looking at this deck, that's roughly the best cards out of the 50 that we see there. So what did we cut? Well, first of all, we cut Doma. I never understood this card. When you put in Yami, and actually makes Doma worse because Doma is a fairy type and it's a tribute monster for 1600. You gotta be mad to actually be wanting to cast this card. So Doma was the first cut, no questions asked. Second one was Ansatsu. It is Earth, it is Warrior. Again, it's a tribute for only a 1700. It's just not worth the effort, so he had to go. Winged Dragon, Guardian of the Fortress. Basically, when purely on effect, it is a 1400 attacker, but we again have nothing to do with wind and dragon, so was another cut. Magical Ghost, whilst it is a dark monster, it is only 1300 attack, 1400 defense, just not enough really to make her count, or him. Kind of similar story with Feral Imp, even though Feral Imp does have a slightly better position with it being a fiend monster. At least it's affected by Yami, but again, that wasn't really much point to keep Feral Imp just for that one-off chance. Silver Fang, I love the art. It is just not really not gonna be kicking the ball. Same story for Dark King of the Abyss, just a 1200, 800, just awful. And then the Portrait Secret, 1200, 1500. This could actually be a good one because it is a fiend. So if nothing else, Yami does give it a good effect. It could be a 1700 defender. But I still don't like the 1200 attack. And we do have 3 really good defenders already that just absolutely outclass the Portrait Secret. Claw Reacher, 1000 attacker, just doesn't make the cut at all. And then we got rid of 1D on Kato, the Cure Master. It is a random heal 1000 points. Doesn't matter at all. I mean, we're not going to be winning by healing a little bit. Let's try and win as soon as we can, so we don't have to, think about even trying to heal. So these are the 10 cards that had to go. And again, as you can see, you can kind of tell the difference between the sort of the Yugi Kaiba and then the second wave, which was the Pegasus Joey, because even the Kaiba deck, very similar to this one, overwhelmed with useless monsters, really. But yeah, this is the 40 card Yugi starter deck. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video, and I hope you will tune in next time as well. Peace.